You're watching UMAMI.
All right, everyone. Oh, turn this off. Okay, what's going on? Animating Jerry Seinfeld expanding. It's very self-explanatory. So this is part 2, I guess. I was streaming this earlier, a couple days ago, and I had those VHS tapes that arrived, and I spent 2 days with Carolina shipping them, putting them in a mailer, bubble wrap mailers and stuff. So the Canada Post came today and picked up the box of 200 VHS tapes, and so those are on their way to your house if you ordered one. And I put in a new order for more VHS tapes because they sold out like in under 6 hours. I was not expecting them to sell that quickly, so thanks to everyone who ordered, and if you didn't order and you still want one, they're on their way for more, so they'll be restocking as soon as they get made, basically. Alright, so basically what we have here is Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, enjoying his coffee in Tom's Diner, and then suddenly he expands, you see. So I need to color him in though, because he doesn't have color for the part where he expands, and also there's no background, so that's what I'm doing today. So I have to color him in, basically. It'll be pretty straightforward. It's actually mostly done, really. But for live streaming, this is perfect because I don't really have to think too hard about what I'm doing at this point. I can just color it in. Kind of a mostly... hold on. Yeah, so that music in the background is my music, and you can find that on Spotify. I would like to put like some music that I didn't make on there, you know, to change things up a little bit, but it's not. I mean, I think there's some royalty-free license libraries out there, but it tends to be kind of crappy sounding, like Muzak, and I would like to play like actual music that I like listening to, but can't do it because of the copyright and all that sort of thing. So my goal is to just make enough of my own music so that it kind of gets to a point where there's so much of it, it doesn't start sounding too repetitive every time I live stream. But that's going to take some time. Anyways, so I'm just going to color in his face here. Anyway, so I was watching on the weekend. I watched Drunken Master 2 with Jackie Chan in it. Has anyone seen any of those movies? I saw the Drunken Master 1 when I was pretty young, I think, a kid, like VHS tape. But I haven't seen the second one. And then I noticed that it was on, I think it might have been Crave or whatever we have, some streaming thing we have. So I watched The Drunken Master 2, and it featured the original uncut ending, which I don't know if any of you people have seen that movie, but basically he drinks so much. Well, I'm not ruining anything. The movie's been out. It's like 50 years old. So if you haven't seen it, anyway, at the end of the movie, it's like he drank so much alcohol he just became retarded, and that's the joke. And if anyone wants to see it, just type in Drunken Master 2 on YouTube, original ending. And you'll see how like non-politically correct the ending is. Like if they were to do that today, people would be losing their minds. But anyways, it came out of the blue, like so out of left field, that it was kind of funny, but then it was also kind of disturbing because you don't want to think of Jackie Chan in that way. Well, at least I don't. But I mean, especially after the events that took place in the movie, because you kind of like root for him as a character, and all of a sudden at the end, it's just like this really dark ending that's supposed to be comedic. But anyway, so I should look that one up. Have you ever seen this other movie he made recently called The Foreigner? And in the movie, he is in Ireland, and he's fighting the IRA, like the Irish Liberation Front or whatever it is. I forget what it's called. That's a pretty good movie for his age. You know, he's still, looks like he's still doing his stunts and stuff, even like a couple years ago. Gareth Currens, is that the one where he burped fire? Yeah, it is. Because he starts drinking industrial strength alcohol, I think, at the end of the movie, and that's what makes him like have issues later on. I guess it's a strange movie. It's a good action movie. It's a little strange. And they don't really make action movies like that anymore, man. It's kind of a shame. Like, everything's CGI these days. And the cool thing about that movie is it looks like what I'm pretty sure it was. All the stunts are like just the real. You know, they're using like sugarcane glass for the glass and stuff, obviously, but they're still like throwing each other off of roofs and stuff. And it's all shot on film too. What color are Jerry Seinfeld's eyes? Aren't they brown? They're brown, eh? Oh, I can't really see them at this frame here, but I guess I probably should have colored in his eyebrows. John Eden. Hey, thanks, John, for that. Appreciate that. Next project should be a surrealist take on Drunken Master. It'd be too many frames, man. There's too much movement. I'm not really that good at that kind of stuff. Maybe, I don't know if you guys ever seen this YouTube channel called Zico with 3 E's. He might be good at doing something like that. He does a lot of crazy action, like, mostly with like Gordon Ramsay. But, check that guy out too. Zico, Z-E-E-E-K-O. Let's see, some of the questions here. Sullivan Deffinger. I showed my girlfriend interface and I promised her if I caught one of your live streams again, I'd ask you about the yellow eyebrows above Mischief's eyes. What are they made of? Well, I don't know what they're made out of. They're made out of like his flesh, basically. But it's kind of like an organ. So it's sort of like an organ that some fifth-dimensional creature would have, like similar to a heart or something. But they basically are like portals into his. It's like fusing. Like basically, he'll absorb the cerebral electricity, and that information gets like added to his library of DNA and information and that sort of stuff. So he's able to acquire the traits of people, kind of that he absorbed. If that makes any sense. Pomegranate Q, did you compose No Confluence EP yourself? If yes, thank you a lot. Pomegranate, yes. So that's pretty much what I consider myself now. I consider myself more of a producer / composer than an actual musician, playing musician. You know, because I play the keyboard. So there's some tracks in there where I play the keyboard and I do like the electronic sort of beats and stuff in there. But the viola and the violin and the guitar are all session musicians, which I hired to play the compositions that I made. So that's what I've been doing more recently, because I'm obviously not skilled at playing those instruments, but I like to incorporate them into my music. So that's how I go about doing it now. Cannot pronounce your name. I'm sorry. It looks like maybe Russian. No, South Korean or something. But thank you for the rubles or the rub. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, so this latest EP I made is kind of it's kind of more like uncharted territory for me as a musician, because at the end of Interface I started doing that, where I would compose something and send it to a violist to play, but that was only for one track really, and after doing that I feel like I've gotten a little bit more comfortable doing that sort of thing, because I'm not really a trained composer or a trained musician, right? So when I'm sending out sheet music and stuff, I don't really know if it's accurate or what. But in Logic, what you basically have to do, if you make your composition in MIDI files, you pretty much just have to quantize it to the beat, because and then once you quantize it, you can use the piano roll tool, I guess what it's called, I forget, and it will generate the sheet music. If you don't quantize it though, Logic will kind of like interpolate all the little subtle adjustments. Like for instance, when you compose music in Logic, electronic music or using VSTs, you don't really want to quantize which things too much. And what quantize, for those who don't know what that means, it's you're playing a beat, whatever, or you're playing some notes, and it like snaps it to the grid, whether it's a 16th or an 8th note or whatever. because it makes it sound sort of artificial when things are too perfect. But when you're making the sheet music, you want it to be perfect, because the kind of the little subtle differences in the tempo and stuff, that's all derived from the musician playing it. So you can put on the sheet music, you can say at this point slow down here, or like, you know, you can put glissando or different types of articulations or whatever. You know, I'm not really that, like, I don't really know that much about all the different articulations, because like I said, I'm not trained musically, but I'm learning slowly, you know. I just try one thing out. For one track I'll try something new, you know, and then if it works out, then I'll try something else, you know. It seems to be working out. I don't know, like, I really like making music in that way, and I feel like in an alternative life I probably would have pursued maybe learning how to do it properly, you know, like music theory and all that. But decided to go the film route instead, so work backwards, I guess. I used to, back in the day when I would make short films and stuff, you know, I would use music that I didn't compose. Not from my channel, UMAMI, but I mean like old stuff that I haven't posted anywhere really on the internet. Or if it was on the internet, I moved it. I would use like royalty-free music. Or Mike, what's his name? Keith McLeod. Not Keith. It's Kevin MacLeod. He basically produces music for free and releases it without any commercial requirements or licensing, whatever. So there's a lot of indie filmmakers that use his music. But eventually you're going to want your own kind of original stuff. And that's what made me get more into making my own music. A lot of things happened in Russia. Just read the news. From what I understand, they were about to invade Ukraine like yesterday, but then they stopped. I don't really know of what's going on over there. I really hope that there's nothing unnecessary gonna happen, like no war. I hope, you know. Thank you, Zach Jones. So does Logic turn your quantized track into something more jangly / human using a certain feature? So basically, it doesn't. So you can do anything in Logic, right? So if I were to play my keyboard, right, and I'd say it's not exactly on the beat, I may decide to keep that. Or if not, you can select all the notes and you can quantize them. And you can also select how much you want to quantize it. So you can say, hey, how about 80%, like bring it closer to the tempo, but like only 80% of the way there, you know? So it doesn't have to be fully quantized. You can also make stuff unquantized, which is called I think it's called humanization. So it makes something that sounds too computery, like too on the note, on the tempo, and it kind of spreads it apart so that the notes are not. That's actually kind of important if you're making music, not just so that it sounds more like a human played it, but because, say for instance, you're using a piano or anything with like a hard note that like with a very short attack, which means like when you hear it immediately, not like a pad or like a swell. But if you have a lot of notes that are exactly on the grid, and like that's all the piano notes, for instance, you get like 4 notes going off a chord or whatever, and you don't humanize it, that means when it plays back, all the notes will happen at the exact same time, like the exact same time. And it kind of makes it sound less like 4 separate notes and more like some sort of electronic noise or something, you know, because it's unnatural. Like when I play the keyboard, I'm playing the 4 notes at once, but they're not all exactly hitting at the same time. So that's something you want to be aware of when you make music with a computer. S210761, do you enjoy the Eraserhead soundtrack? Is that so? I think David Lynch made that soundtrack, is it? Or was that Angelo Battamati or whatever his last name is? I haven't actually listened to it, not really. You know, actually, Eraserhead, I've only really watched Eraserhead once, and then I thought to myself, that's probably as many times as I need to see it. I really like David Lynch's other films a lot more, but Eraserhead in particular I found to be kind of slow. So I'm not really too familiar with the actual soundtrack. But I listen to the soundtrack a lot of his other stuff, though. Especially The Straight Story, which has a really excellent score. The Straight Story is one of David Lynch's more normal films. And it has like moments where you can tell that he directed it, but it's honestly one of my favorite films. I feel like it's a really excellent, underrated film. So if you're looking for a good movie, check out The Straight Story by David Lynch. Code Monster, I don't really have thoughts on the Russian-Ukraine situation. You know, it's not my, those are not really my countries, you know, I don't, it's like when people from like, you know, United States or people from, I don't know, England are like commenting on Canadian politics. I don't know what's going on over there to really be able to comment on it. You know, I feel like a lot of people on the internet really, they have these opinions on politics that are supported by news articles that they read on the internet and not necessarily the reality of what's happening in the real place. And so I'm not really gonna comment on it, the Ukraine situation. I don't feel like I'm qualified to, and but I just hope that whatever happens, that there isn't an actual war, because it's I don't feel like it's gonna be no one wants to have a war, obviously, you know, unless it's just unnecessary bloodshed that shouldn't happen, and I really hope it doesn't happen, because there should be peaceful ways that they can resolve whatever it is that they're trying to do over there, you know. Lucky Naya, hey, thank you, Lucky Naya. How many push-ups can you do, and what's your dream country to live in? It's rubles, and wish you best. Well, Lucky Naya, thank you for that. And how many push-ups can I do? Hold on, I think my camera's frozen or something. I think it's back. Okay. I could probably do like 50 in a day. At once. And I've done 100 in a day. Like I don't usually, but I usually don't do that many. I've been kind of trying to work out at home a little bit. But I'm not very good at like the, you know, what's it called? I'm not very good at the discipline of doing it regularly. So, I have this thing though. I play this video game Hunt Showdown, and if I like lose a match, I try to do 12 push-ups. And so typically I'll lose like, I don't know, 6 matches in a couple hours, like an hour or two, and then it ends up adding up to like around 50 push-ups, 60 sometimes, which I feel like is a good motivator. I should be doing like other types of exercises, so like not just push-ups. Well, usually I go to the gym and I can do that, and thankfully it's open now. So, okay, let's move on here. I got to. Okay, so his face really doesn't change too much in this next frame, so I might just duplicate. Crummy Brinkle Jr., not to get political, but I think chunky peanut butter is better than smooth. Yeah, I agree. I have to agree with you on that one, you know. They have this new peanut butter here that's like called robust peanut butter or whatever. And basically they like roasted the nuts longer. And it's weird because I tried it the other day and it kind of tastes like what peanut butter used to taste like in the 90s. I feel like they've changed how peanut butter tastes over the years. And it does taste better. I feel like this robust peanut butter, whatever it is, I don't know. Jeremy Linden, would you consider having a remix EP or something? Like have some folks remix a track of yours? I would consider it for sure. I mean, if someone were to approach me about that, I'd probably, you know, I'd probably have some reservations. I'd have to check to see if they're not just some random person, but actually, generally, people have already asked me that sort of stuff, and I usually say yes. So I'm not too like protective of my music, you know. I feel like, and in my animations too. I mean, if people upload my animations somewhere else, I don't really care, you know. I feel like it just they're just sharing it with more people, you know. The male actors tend to balloon out in unnatural ways, and the women who often get what I call Jenner face, which is... Yeah, I mean, like Mickey Rourke kind of expanded. But that's because he had like a lot of plastic surgery that I think went wrong. And, you know, Ray Liotta? I wouldn't say he's quite expanded, but he's definitely got, like, he's kind of looks like extra crusty. I don't know what happened to him. Like, look at Ray Liotta when he was young, and then look at him when he's older. It's more than just natural aging. He's kind of gotten... In some ways, it kind of helps him out, though, because he really looks like a tough dude now. Like, he's getting some new roles and some new movies. And by the way, every time he acts in a movie, he does an amazing job. So, so I saw the Sopranos kind of epilogue, whatever, that came out recently, and he was probably one of the best parts of that movie, in my opinion. It was kind of a weird movie because he had like a twin, like his character. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm ruining this for people. Don't listen to me if you haven't seen it yet and you want to see it. But anyway, I'm just saying he's good in that movie. So, Lucky Naya, what do you think about chemtrails? Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, I believe in some conspiracy theories. I don't believe in the chemtrail one. Chemtrails are just water vapor from the temperature difference between the height of the airplane and the engines or whatever it is. You know, I'm not really an expert in that shit, and I don't have a strong opinion on it, so. But I mean, there's like some conspiracy theories that are just so goddamn stupid, like the flat Earth ones or whatever. Like even if the Earth was flat, like what is the benefit of the government trying to hide that from people? Like, you know, I feel like it would be such a friggin' difficult thing to do. That it just wouldn't work out, you know. Have you had a chance to post a link for the score of the Ghost soundtrack? Oh man, I'm sorry, man. I think it might have been you who asked me for that a while ago, and I tried looking for like my old, like this was a long time ago, like 2017 when I was starting my series. My file organization was a mess, and this was back before I tried to clean up how I do things, and if I can find the MIDI files, I might be able to generate the piano music for that, but I keep slipping it in my mind. Just, I have a lot of stuff going on. I think I did try looking for it, and I gave up after about 20 minutes because I couldn't find the actual file, the original file anymore. It's not a particularly complicated song, though. I think if someone who has experience transcribing music could probably do it pretty quickly. What is your opinion on gay frogs? Well, I think there was actually some research done into like the gender of frogs being changed due to chemicals, and I don't really remember the origins of where that came from, Alex Jones or whatever, but I don't think that's as it's not like it's just a part of, you know, there's like, aren't there like sharks in the real world, the wild, that can reproduce themselves without even becoming pregnant? I believe there's a shark that can do that, and it's not exactly like, there's a lot more to the biology of animals than we really know, you know. Check him out on Angel Heart. Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro killed the shit out of their performance. Angel Heart is up there with Jacob's Ladder, in my opinion. Hey, Justin Pollock, thanks for that recommendation. I'll check that one out. I don't think I saw Angel Heart. Hey, Johnny Hash, thank you for the comment there. I appreciate that. And any work with Adult Swim landed yet? I mean, I've already worked with Adult Swim for those 4 videos I made. I can't really say anything, you know, like I'm not really supposed to be talking about if I'm doing stuff with them or not, you know, like, because I can say that I'm not. I mean, I could say that I'm not doing anything for them right now, because and it's not because I would rather just work on my own stuff, you know. You got to understand, these big corporations like Adult Swim is actually Turner Broadcasting. It's a big corporation, and from a business point of view, it really doesn't make too much sense for me to continue making animations for them if I don't need to, because I don't own the rights to the animations when I'm finished, right? And you know, there's some clout being able to say, hey, I did this for that, right? But you know, so long as they're not making an actual series or anything, I don't really feel like I want to work with anyone. You know, any big publisher, you know, unless they're really gonna take a chance and make something big with me, you know. If it's just short little web videos, then what's the point? I could do that without them, you know. That's how I feel about it. It's not just one company; it's all companies. You gotta be aware of these things. Maybe request a song. My favorite is Revelation. Yeah, I could play that one after this one ends. Let me just I don't actually listen to the music when I'm doing these streams, so let me just turn the music on for a second. Yeah, I'll turn it on after this. There's got to be a way. I don't know if there's a way I can like program it, because I'm just playing it through Spotify. But I think you could do like song requests with some apps or whatever. Other streamers do that, I think. Yeah, man, that Revelation song is killing it out there on Spotify. It's my most popular song. And to think the piano for that song is actually something I salvaged from an old track that I didn't finish. I was working on this music for Revelation or whatever, and it wasn't working quite right. And then I was going through my old music files, because I have a ton of Logic files of incomplete music. And for whatever reason, I stopped making the music because I don't like it anymore or whatever. There was that piano in it, and that's what I took, and I put it into the track, and it ended up being the Revelation song, so... Okay, so let me just do you get paid big cash money for doing commissions and stuff? I don't want to like, not really. I mean, it's I'd say it's about comparable to whatever I'm making off of Patreon. So it's like, at the end of the day, I could make it use and retain 100% of the rights, right? And put it out there and say, Patreons, you made this, you know, or I could accept a commission from a corporation, and then kind of, I guess you'd be call it like double dipping a little bit, you know, because it's like, hey, you're supporting me, but also this corporation made this animation, but I don't really own it anymore. The corporation does, you know. That's, I don't know. So, some of these companies will just do straight out licenses, and so I'd prefer to do that, which is I'll make something, and if they want to use it, they'll license it, you know. You know, for me, the exception to that would be if a company, like an actual company, wanted to do a commercial, then I would probably say yes. Like a commercial where it was like the product or whatever, and I'm just animating it. But it would come with a lot of reservations, you know. It'd have to be like, I'd have to come up with the idea, you know, and I really wouldn't be budging too much creatively. I always listen to David Lynch. He has a quote where he says, I always listen to ideas or whatever. I'm paraphrasing what it says. I always listen to ideas, but I won't accept a bad idea. Jeremy Linden, what's your favorite guilty pleasure VST to use in your productions? There's a VST called Tina Guo Cello, and it's probably my favorite VST because it sounds so real, and you don't really have to do too much fiddling around with it to make it sound good, and it's not very expensive either. And it has a very distinctive kind of sound where it really does sound kind of like Tina Goa playing it, you know? It's very expressive and dramatic, and oh my god, what happened here? His body is missing in this shot. Did I mess something up here? Maybe I just didn't draw it. Can't remember if I drew it or not. Maybe I didn't draw it. Chemical place, thank you. Hey Blaze, thank you for buying the hoodie. I appreciate that. I'm happy you enjoyed it, and thanks for the comment. All right, let's. I think I have to draw. I have to draw his stomach, his body here. I didn't. I guess I forgot to draw it, so that shouldn't take too long. Just turn this layer on here. If you turn the onion skinnings on, you can see the first and this third frame, so that you just draw in between the two lines here. Weird, his teacup went missing too. Oh, whatever. Who is your favorite Seinfeld? I think, well, I guess what you must be asking is which was my favorite character, or maybe which episode I like the most. I can't really remember all the episodes. I used to watch Seinfeld a lot, though, back in the day. Back when it was on Fox, they used to have Seinfeld running. For pretty much all the 2000s, it would be Seinfeld twice a day, 2 episodes. Now it's like 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory. I can't watch any of those shows. They make me bleed internally. And I just wonder what has happened to the comedy. What has happened? How did we go from Seinfeld to The Big Bang Theory? I don't want to know. Tina Go cello, $329. I don't think it's $329. I only paid like $60 for it. Let me let me look it up. Oh my god. Maybe I bought it on sale or something. Or maybe they increased the price because people realize how good it is. I don't know. But you know what I would suggest is follow Sinstring's Twitter account, because they often have a lot of sales, and buy it when it's on sale, because usually it's like 60 or something % off.
How very much I've loved you. How very much I've tried my best to give you the good life.
Chemical Plays, yeah. I think it's sold in like 2 parts. You might be able to get like the Tino Go 1, and then there's like Tino Go 2, and the second one has more articulations. The first one is just legato. But I'm pretty sure, well, I bought both of them, but when I bought the first one, it was like only $60 or something back in the day. KRS, and what's your dream car? Uh, I don't know, man. My dream car, I kind of like old classic cars from like the 70s and 80s. Like, I like those old boat cars, you know? I don't know. Man, I don't really have a dream car because I don't think about cars too much. I mean, I don't really, if I had a garage, it'd be something I'd be more interested in, but I don't have one. And here in Montreal, like, basically, if you have a car, it's out on the street, so you have to move it like every couple days because of the street cleaning and stuff, and snow and all that. So it's kind of a hassle. But if I were to choose a car, I'd probably, and I could afford it, like I'd probably choose like, I don't know, man. People don't hating on Dodge and stuff. I kind of like the new Dodge Challengers. They look pretty cool. And there's this concept from Hyundai recently. Hyundai, I think, made this like concept electric vehicle, and it looks sick. It looks like it's modeled after. I mean, if I can look it up, it's like modeled using like stylings inspired from the 70s and 80s. I'll show you some pictures of it right here. It's like 100% electric. Apparently, Hyundai made this electric concept car, which I don't know. I just think it looks friggin' awesome. And the inside, I wonder. Yeah, here's the pictures of the inside, which also look pretty cool. I'm not really crazy about these seats. They kind of look like big bowling shoes. But like, look at the lights on the inside here. I wonder if I can zoom in a bit. Like, that looks so cool. And look at they put cigars in like the glove compartment, whatever that is. Anyway, so it's a pretty dope looking car. I mean, I gotta say. Oh, I guess they made a few other kind of concept cars too, kind of retro inspired. But the seats here, yeah, I mean the back of the seats. I wish that's the only thing they didn't. It looks like they're laced up. Looks like I'm putting on some big moccasins or something, you know. Anyway. Anna Fabula. Hey, sorry, it's a bad time to ask. This is the worst time to ask. What exactly is Mischief? Is my understanding of him after watching Interface is that he's like a massive reservoir of cerebral electricity. Well, Mischief is kind of like a, it's like, he's kind of like, in my opinion, he represents choice and freedom of choice, and he has a sort of chaotic nature and tendency to that. He is able to learn everything that he acquires and use it for his own purposes. So he's kind of like a curious creature that wants to learn everything in the world and know how to do everything and become everything, but not necessarily out of power, but because it satisfies his own creative desires or his own curiosity. And so, while there are some people out there that seek power for controlling others, Mischief is kind of out there seeking power so that he can control himself. And I think that he finds that when he absorbs more information and data from other people, he becomes more empathetic and which is why he doesn't go out of his way to kill people and kill other things. He kind of, like if he sees a frog getting killed in nature, or he sees someone dying either due to suicide or whatever reason it is, he's not going to push them to do it further, but he's also not going to stop them because he's pro-choice. He allows people to make their own decisions, and that's kind of my description of Mischief, if that makes more sense. And I think at the end of the day, he really is just trying to make people better people in the end, you know, not just himself. Sullivan the finger. One of my favorite videos of yours is the Dread the Slammer video. Have you ever thought about making a milk cap set with some of your characters on them with the slammer matching the one in the video? I haven't thought about that because I don't know if like it's very easy to do, but I guess I could look into it, you know? That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't you know, I like selling merch and stuff, and people have a lot of requests, but I feel like sometimes if I put my merch on too many different things, it's going to come across as like kind of cheesy almost, you know? The milk cap thing might make sense, but okay, I gotta finish coloring this guy in. Jerry is first of all, his... I think once I get past this next couple frames, it will go a little bit quicker. It's just because there were some problems with his hand down here I had to fix. I'm considering hunting down a VHS player just to have a single tape interface. You go if you go to like a thrift store, you should be able to find a VHS player pretty easily. I actually went through 3 different VHS players just to do the testing some colors and stuff, because you know, I didn't just slap interface onto a tape and call it a day. I actually tried to calibrate the colors and everything so it looks correct when you play it back on your VHS player. I found a lot of the players that I had to use were not capable of recording, but they could at least play back VHS players' tapes without issue. So you probably find some at your thrift store for like $10, or probably less than that actually. And then if you really want to display it correctly, you should get a CRT monitor, which is just an old television. And you can find those at the thrift stores too sometimes for a couple $10. Got one there. And you're gonna need some RCA cables. And then once you have those 3 things, you'll be ready to go. Chemical. Well, I find the streaming is kind of distracting for me, but you know, as a creator that's on YouTube, I feel like I enjoy talking with you guys from time to time. You know, I don't do it too often, maybe a couple times a month or whatever, but you know, sometimes it gets kind of repetitive here when I'm just sitting in my room animating all day and I don't talk to anyone, listen to music. So kind of breaks up the pace a little bit if I have someone to talk to. It's just you guys in the chat, you know. My wife just called Mischief a feminist icon based on your answer. Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't say he's necessarily feminist. I'd say he's humanist, which is, you know, he makes no distinction whether or not you are male or female or in between or whatever you are. You know, is you're alive and you're life. You have life force within you. That's all that really he cares about. You know, there's no sense differentiating the difference between a crocodile or a mushroom, because in the eyes of the universe, we're all a part of it. That's kind of how he looks at things, I feel like, and you know, I base Mischief off of a lot of my own thoughts, so that's kind of why I made him the way that he is. You know. All right, so Jerry's. So when I animate this, it's going to be slower. It's not just going to be him slurping and immediately expanding, but these are basically the frames that I need, and then I'll, you know, repeat frames and stuff in Premiere. You know, and when he expands, I'll probably have some sound effect. It'll probably sound like a rubber band exploding over and over again. I don't really, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with the sound yet. You know, it's going to be a short little 30-second animation, but it actually takes me like a couple weeks to finish. And I was working on Safe Mode Episode 2, but then I needed a break from it. So this is what I'm doing as a break. The series Safe Mode is not, I'm not gonna be worried too much about getting a new episode out every so often. It's gonna be a series that I work on that's gonna continue to come out, but it won't be like Interface where it was constantly coming out, you know, one after the other, because I get a lot of enjoyment out of making these little bonus videos, and it keeps my channel alive and stuff too, you know. All right, let's see here. So I don't know what that stuff in the background is there. It's probably some, maybe it's a Slayer. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's his. I can get rid of it at this point, I think. Okay. Christian Schneider. We appreciate your devotion to your work and the fans. Wonder if you considered putting the interface score on cassette tape. I'd buy. Cheers. Christian Schneider, I could definitely do that. Now that it's all finished, you know, it's just a matter of me designing some box art and stuff. And the soundtrack for part 1, I think, is shorter than part 2. Part 2 is 2 LPs long, and the first one's like 1 LP, so I might have to, when I do the tapes, have like, I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? And I'll just put all the interface total soundtrack on cassette, you know, basically episodes 1 to 14 on one side, and then 15 to 24 on the other, you know. Christian Schneider, I'll definitely probably do something like that, you know. Once I get these VHS tapes out and some other things, you know, I'll probably... I'll try to, you know, get this stuff done later this year. Excuse me. What's your favorite way to celebrate a successful upload? I don't really celebrate actually when I do something successful, you know? I mean, I guess if a video gets over like 100,000 views, I'll be like pretty happy about it, you know what I mean? But I don't do anything to celebrate. I mean, sometimes like if I'm finished like a long episode and I'm about to release it, I'll order some pizza. Or like, you know, I'll order some takeout or something, or go to a restaurant, you know, put my mind off of the work that I just did there. But I remember, okay, so for like the very successful stuff, like Thomas thermonuclear bomb. What did I do? I don't remember, but I remember being a little bit surprised that it was so successful, because I was like, holy shit, like, I posted, it was on YouTube HeyQ, I think someone posted it and it got 10,000 views or something like that. 10,000 upvotes. You know, honestly, the Soup Son kind of surprised me too, because those videos are pretty popular, and he's kind of he's not based off of a meme, you know what I mean? It's like my own character that I came up with. But it's the other law the law of animation, where if you put a face on an inanimate object, it kind of it will kind of be praised by the algorithmic gods out there. So if you tend to draw faces on inanimate objects, it usually goes in your favor. Maybe that's partially why Thomas Thermonuclear Bomb did so well, is because not only is he a face on a train, but he is already a IP that exists and has a fan base behind it, or you know, people are aware of what he is, you know. Unlike the Soup Son, where they're like, the fuck is a Soup Son? They have to listen to him first, you know. Lucky Naya, when did you cry last time and why? Oh man, you're gonna make me look like a real sensitive boy. But actually, it happened a couple weeks ago, because we were fostering these two cats that we were fostered, and one of them's Nikki, and one of them, we call the other one Munchie, because she eats a lot of food. But both of these cats, we didn't adopt them, so we're just taking care of them until someone adopts them, right? Like, instead of it being in a shelter, the cats are in my apartment. And, apparently, one cat, Nikki, she was kept in a cage like most of her life, which is extremely saddening, you know. And when we got her, she was so scared of everything, and hiding under the dresser and stuff, and hiding under the water heater tank. And every day I would like go and talk to her and stuff under the thing, right? And she'd like either hiss at me, or you know, she just looked like she's about to shit herself. And then you know, it's been a couple months, but like 3 months, and then we got, you know, I got some cat toys, right? And so it's like basically a little bird at the end of a stick. And so like on a string, like the string, there's like a string with the bird at the bottom, and it's like a fishing pole sort of thing, right? I actually got her to come out and play with this toy a little bit, and every time she would play with it, she would look at me so suspiciously, like I'm about to go and kick her or something, you know. But you know, every day I would play with her a little bit, she would get a little bit more better and better and better, right? And then after like 3 months, she finally just kind of like came over to me, and I was able to pet her, and she was like really like enjoying it. Like, I feel like she'd never really been pet before. And then she also, as soon as I pet her for like a couple minutes, she like ran off like she was spooked, like she didn't know what was happening. But that's what made me cry, because I was like trying to like connect with this kitty for so long. So now I have a cat that actually now every time I eat my breakfast, she comes up to me just for pets, and she comes sits on me with next to me on the couch and stuff. So pretty happy. I might have to end up adopting her because I didn't adopt her yet, and I didn't really want to adopt a cat because it's a kind of a commitment having a cat. You can't leave for months, and I realized I don't really leave my apartment that much anyway. What the hell am I doing, right? So, and if I do leave, it's only for a couple weeks, right? I can find someone to come in and feed her and stuff. It's not a big deal. So, the other cat, Munchie, though, she's a little bit more standoffish. I don't think she was kept in a cage her whole life, but she but she's definitely not as bad as the other one. Like I can feed her and stuff, but she doesn't really want to be pet. I feel like Nikki the cat, she was like she wanted to be pet, but she didn't want to because like she wasn't